This is Shreen Purewal, and today's video I want to talk to you about something that's part of everyone's life, and it's a difficult part of people's life is when you lose someone and you're grieving, and in the process of it all you're dealing with the assets, the estate, the real estate, and what to do. So recently I had a client, same story, lost mom, and dad was put in a home, and of course dad had Alzheimer's and was grieving too, and they're grieving, and they have this apartment and all the stuff they need to do to be able to sell it. One thing I always say is it's really important, if you're in another city and whatnot, find an agent, do your research, someone you trust, someone who has your best interest at heart. And usually you can know that by just reading about them, reading their reviews, talking a few conversations, having a few phone calls with them, and connecting is really important. Because one of the things I say when you're grieving, and as someone who's lost, someone very near and dear to me, my father, and I was devastated, how did I get through it? It's really hard to make decisions when you're grieving. So having someone you can trust to make the right decisions for you is one of the most important things. Now, the trust part, you really have to do your research on, even though you're grieving. So that's one part you got to be really careful of. And everyone will promise you the world and make promises to you, but at the end of the day, some will take advantage of the fact that you're grieving and they know you're vulnerable. So be really careful on that front. Do your research. And if you're having difficulty making a decision, I always say interview 3 people, and even though you're grieving, you'll hear the same thing 3 times and you'll know, okay, this is consistent. Whatever it's not consistent, make sure the person you connect to or feel, I felt this person had my best interest at heart. You go with them and you make sure, still you double check everything, but someone who cares for you, not just this transaction, and someone who has that reputation of caring. So that's really important. The next thing I would say is, if, when it comes to selling, ask for data, because even though you're grieving and you're going through all this emotional things, the data, the facts won't change. So you're going to say, hey, I want data of what has sold recently in my building. You need to share that with me. I want the data of what is currently for sale in this area. Give me the data. And then take that data. If it's too hard for you, give it to a friend, one of your closest friends, or a relative who's not grieving as hard as you, to say, here's the data I got. What do you take of this data? And help me make a decision. So that'll be really helpful too. Now, there's also logistics, like, okay, I got to clear out the place. I got to, paint the walls at least for when I sell it. If this is too much for you, find someone, ask the realtor, say, if I do give you this listing, will you project manage and take this headache off my shoulders? Because that's one less thing you have to worry about. So you want to make the process as load removed from you as possible. Sorry if that's not an English term. But at the same time, done by someone who's honest, who's removing the load off your shoulders, and who's going to deal with the transaction. So, having been through this and having had this client come to me, I really felt, you know what? I know what you're going through. I'll get you 3 quotes. We'll coordinate them. We'll help you go through it. And once we approve of it, we'll take photos of it. You pay only when you've seen the photos and you're happy with it. We'll help you with the first part of project managing it. And we won't charge you for that. Thank you for trusting us with your listing. And the next part, always consult. We'll put in an email. Here's the data. And I felt like the way I treated them was the way I would have wanted to be treated when I had been going through my estate and my loss. So I feel if you're listening to this and you're grieving, these are things, and you're in another city, these are things to look for, and steps that help me. Interview definitely different agents. Make sure it's the person you connect to. Try to throw to them stuff that may not be their responsibility, but would help you out a lot, like cleaning it out, or like being like, and one thing I told with these clients, I was like, just give me a budget of like how much budget you can afford to give to me, so I can basically give it a fresh coat of paint, remove the junk, and just set some money aside that's your stress-free money. Say, okay, listen, I'm willing to give you $1,000. Can you just clean out my place, paint it, give it fresh coat paint, and have that budget too? That'll help as well to take the load off your shoulder. And if you don't have that money, that's fine. Just say, use me as a resource to help you with this, but give me deadlines and project management, because I'm too emotional to make decisions. And I need structure, because I find when you're grieving, you become scattered, and having someone just guide you and say, this is what we got to do next. This is what you do next. You're like, okay, I'll follow it. Let's do that next. Is helpful. So telling someone I need that. So with this sweet two sisters, we're going through all of this. I said, listen, these are our next steps, and make it simple and easy for them. I mean, in your situation, ask them to make it like 5 steps. Tell me the next 5 steps I need to know, and then just make it manageable and easy for you to make decisions from. It doesn't need to be complicated. And sometimes people will overwhelm and complicate things. You also, even though you're grieving, need to tell them and say, guys, this is a lot for me. Can you just give me 5 steps? Guys, this is a lot for me. Can you just manage this for me? I'll give you $1,000. Guys, and just push it back to them to help you through the stormy times. And besides real estate, one of the best tips I got on grieving and making decisions in real estate was, time is your only healer. Time heals you. You're going to be facing a lot of decisions, a lot of things you need to do. But the thing, people will help support you, but at the end of the day, you need time to make decisions. Don't rush and make decisions. Take your time. Anyways, dear friends, sorry to put a video of this out there, but it's a reality. We all face, we all grieve, we all experience loss, and we all have to make those real estate decisions in the process. Work with someone you trust, work with someone you connect to, and push things back to them, and have them make things simple for you, not complicated. Cheers, guys, and take care. Bye.